welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone's having a great day. And today I'm going to tell this second story, or second part of my little series of me living on my own and struggling. So, if you didn't watch my last video, it was pretty much about me getting kicked out by an old man thinking that I was a thought. Not true, but that's what happened. So after I got kicked out, my friend Mason drove me and dropped me off at my friend Carl's house. And I stayed with Carl for about a month and a half. He asked his parents if I can stay with them, and they said yeah. They really liked me. They saw that I was a responsible, nice person, well mannered, so they were okay with me staying with them rent free. And I was like, okay, that's cool, not having to pay rent. So I was staying with them for about a month and a half, but within that month, me and Carl started to not like each other because we were together 24/7. We worked together, we drove, and we hanged out after work. So after that, I guess we really got to know each other, and we found out we weren't really a good fit. And we got in like some stupid arguments a lot. And Carl was not the cleanest person. Like he just was really very dirty, and he never brushed his teeth at all. It was just very disgusting. Like he had very brown teeth, and when I first met him, he said his teeth was brown because he was drinking well water. I was like, okay, cool. And so I would try to help him, like I would, do home remedies about oil pulling and like strips because, he was my friend at the time and I wanted to help him because he said he didn't like that about himself. But every time I tried helping him, he really didn't want the help. He was just too lazy. He said he would do it later and not right now. So I just stopped pretty much. And this one time we got in a fight or an argument because he was about to go mess around with the guy, and I knew he didn't brush his teeth that morning. So I felt bad for the guy, whoever he was gonna like mess around with, and I said, "Carl, before you leave, make sure you brush your teeth." And he was like, "Oh, yeah, okay, sure." So, he got ready and he was about to leave, and I saw he passed the bathroom, and I was like, "This bitch!" And I was like, "Carl," and he like turned around. I was like, "Are you forgetting to brush your teeth?" And he was like, "Oh, I brushed my teeth." I was like, "Dude, no, you didn't. You did not brush your teeth. Go fucking brush your teeth." Poor guy, whoever you're gonna fucking mess with, just go brush your teeth. And so he did. And like, how bad is it that you don't want to brush your teeth? Like, how good hygiene? Like I sadly kissed a few guys that didn't have the best hygiene, and it was the worst time ever. So I was looking out for the guy, whoever he was messing with, and Carl. And so, other little things about that we got in arguments. But then there's one time while I was visiting home, um, my friend John, he was part of the group that I was hanging out with. Um, he told me that Carl's saying to everyone that I'm refusing to pay rent and I'm also like sleeping around and being a hoe. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what is it with people thinking or saying that I'm a hoe or like a slut? Like, what? I am not. I'm like, I'm pretty much, I'm like, I'm innocent, so please don't. So, so I like confronted Carl about this. I'm like, dude, why are you like saying all these things? Like, is it true? Like, what the fuck? And he was like, no, it's not true. Like, I didn't say that. Like, um, he pretty much denied everything. But my friend John, he had the messages that Carl sent them because I guess there was a group chat that I wasn't in, and he sent me this, and I confronted him, and he was just like, he didn't say anything. And I was like, you know what, dude, fuck you. I'm leaving. So after I visit my parents' house, after I visited my parents' house, I drove to his place. He packed up my stuff up, and then I left. And that was pretty much the end of that. We never really talked that much. Him and my old group of friends, I guess they didn't talk to me that much because they stayed with Carl's side. I guess they knew him longer, so they just believed him, and so they thought that I didn't want to pay rent, and I was being a hoe. One, I'm not a hoe, and two, like if I was refusing to pay rent, why didn't they kick me out? Like, no, it's not true. It was just awful. So, um, but the one friend that stood by my side was my friend John. He was part of the group, but a lot of people didn't like him was because he was an asshole and he was straight up. Like he would tell you what was the truth, and they didn't like that about him. But he was around, the whole time while me and Carl was hanging out with, so he knew the truth. He knew that I didn't have to pay rent because his parents were okay with me not paying rent, and then he knew I wasn't being a hoe. Like so, out of that group of friends, he was one of the ones that stayed with me. So after I got kicked out, during that time I worked at Walmart, I became really good friends with my manager, Manuel. And he was a cool dude. I really liked working with him. He was fun and he was the best manager ever. And so I told him about the situation about, me with John and, you know, I just didn't know I had nowhere else to go. So he was like, "Oh, he had an extra room and he was totally okay with me staying with him, but it had to be like, I guess on the down low because I guess it's not okay with an employee staying with the manager at Walmart." I was like, "Okay, that's cool." So, um, I stayed with him for about a month, and everything was going good. He was a cool, roommate. We didn't get in arguments, but we also weren't together 24/7. But he was really nice. But then fucking Carl fucking wants to start spreading rumors about me staying with John, Manuel, and that wasn't good because people started talking about, oh, is Rico staying with Manuel? What's going on? And I was just like, this bitch, like, ugh. So after staying with Manuel for about a month, I had to leave, and because fucking Carl just wanted to fucking just make everything worse, and so yeah, that's what happened. And yeah, I guess that's to be the end of this story. I know it wasn't very crazy or anything like that. It was just pretty much my friend Carl fucked it up, and I couldn't stay with him or my manager. So I hope you enjoyed this little short little rant of my story time video. And yeah, okay, bye.